All right, let's get into it.
So it's motherfucking hot today.
It was. Yeah, man. And that place that I was working today, it was a real busy day. So it was like trying to get into an amusement park on 4th of July on a Saturday. Yeah, I was driving around and I saw like 3 different cars just going up and down the aisles. And I was like, nope, not even going to bother trying to find a parking space. I called my contact. I was like, hey, I'm on site today. Is there any particular issues? He told me what there was. And I just like, I'm not parking here. And, but yeah, as soon as I got out, hour-long walks because I had to park in further parking spaces. And just, you get it's a dry heat. Doesn't matter. Still fucking hot.
No, motherfucker. It was a little more than a dry heat. It was, it's 92, but feels like 97. But I'm sorry, at 90 something, it gets to that point where it doesn't matter. It's just fucking hot once you're right in the sun. If there's no breeze at that temperature, it's fucking hot.
Well, and here's how I measure the heat, because it's always hot. You know, in the summertime it's whatever. But because I do pest control, I got to wear those nitrile gloves, right? Sorry, excuse me. I have to wear those gloves. Now, they're meant so no pesticide liquids get past the gloves and soak into your skin. Well, the other part about that is as your hands sweat, they fill up with sweat. And it's actually kind of funny. You can sit there and shake your hands and feel like all the water in the tips of your fingers. Yeah. Well, this morning, even though it was hot, I took my gloves off and was expecting to get about a shot glass's worth of sweat poured out of my gloves. I know, it's gross. But that didn't happen. That being said, end of the day, totally happened. I've had customers say that. Like, I took my gloves off, and you can see the fucking liquid just fucking fling off the fucking gloves as I turn them inside out, and then I go like this. And I've had customers, I'll get in my truck, start it up, blast the AC, and then, like, put my hands in front of the AC vents. Sometimes I'll try and even go like this. I'll try and, like, blow on the tips of my fingers like I'm autistic Ben Affleck in The Accountant. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but yeah, He does some stupid, weird autistic thing where he's like, he blows on the tips of his fingers like he's ever fucking sweat in his life. Anyway, it's hot as shit.
Yeah.
How'd you have to deal with it today?
Well, luckily I was able to control my destiny, and I've been on that job enough days to know the direction of the sun and where it's going at certain points. So I hit different points at different times. Tomorrow I'm fucked. I'm stuck in a certain area, and it's just going to suck the whole time because it's in the great wide open. So, but today I got to finagle my way around the light. A few times it was hot.
The light.
Yeah, the
just
direct
the
sunlight.
sunlight.
I was like, I had certain areas where I could go with shade and the buildings on this side. You know, the way the sun's coming across, doing its fucking thing over, you know, the course of the day, you know?
Oh, yeah. And you know what's funny?
Rising and falling.
A couple of friends that we know who are electricians, I don't know why I thought about this. It was so stupid that I didn't. I was asking them about their jobs, you know, and they were like, yeah, today we're just doing your, like, punch out, you know, just like you do, getting the last couple of things done on the job before it's finished. And they're like, yeah, tomorrow we're just going to be working on a house that's just a roof, you know. And then for some reason I thought that was worse. No, that's actually the best thing you can do as an electrician. You're going to work in a house. You're the one wiring it. It ain't got no fucking AC. So if it's got walls, you're just hot boxed in there until you get the wiring where it needs to be, and then the AC company comes in. And then even if you do, like, hey, let's say it's the middle of the summer, right? And you're like, hey, you know what we're going to make as the priority? We're going to rig up all the wiring for the AC. Okay, let's say you did that, and then by some miracle, the air conditioning company could come out there and then set up the air conditioning. You know what you're going to do? You blast cold air in that unfinished house and just fucking coat the walls in mold.
I got to say, a lot of the thing one of the main things that's probably done in that scenario is it's not like there's no windows.
Big ass fans.
You get fans, temporary power, open windows, and you start circulating that air. And you're in the shade. You do that, it's not too bad.
Dude,
at
and-
points,
and-
you know.
oh, yeah, no, and
when
I-
you're in the beating sun, I mean, there's no
Oh
hiding
yeah,
from
dude.
it
Yeah,
then.
you're building the foundation.
I was gonna
of
say,
a
I thought you
building.
were about to talk about working on a fucking roof I mean, that's what I'm gonna be
No,
doing
no.
tomorrow. I'm gonna be up in a fucking lift at the
No,
roof.
they're not
That's what I
working
was
on a roof.
dodging today.
They're actually going to be. What I'm saying is that like, oh damn, like my dumbass.
No, I
thought-
get what you're saying. They're inside, but if you open windows and put on a fan or
But
something,
but still, my dumbass thought that oh man, you ain't got no walls. Oh man, that's going to be terrible. You're going to be burning up. And then I was like, no. Unless you have stuff like fans, yeah, you have that house built and all the walls around you, it turns into a fucking hot box.
no, I get that, but
Yeah.
there's
No,
windows also. There's going to be windows.
Exactly.
so.
My stupidity was that if the house had walls, it had AC, and even if it did have AC, it doesn't matter. They're electricians. They're the ones putting all the wiring in. There's no AC until they do their job. That's why it was. That's the first stupid thing that I thought.
To a point, heating AC guys actually, there's certain outlets set up, but in terms of wiring for a lot of those units, the main guys do their own wiring and all that when that gets going.
Oh yeah. Oh, but once
yeah.
again, that's just me not knowing.
It's kind of like elevator guys that I've worked around on jobs. Electricians will set up certain things, maybe the empty boxes and the conduit for the elevators, but the elevator guys do the actual wiring and all that for it.
Yeah, no, and and it's weird because I was talking to my friend about it, because we talk about each other's work. I tend to do a lot more of the talking because I just run my fucking mouth all the time. And I don't know. I'm interested in my work. But even if somebody was bored to death by the minutia of my work, a lot of times I've got interesting stories just because of the places that I go. Fucking fucking ghettos in Richmond, fucking halfway houses in fucking Triangle. God damn it.
Triangle, Arizona.
Yeah. You don't even know if that fucking place exists.
In this world, it does. To an extent.
You know what? Fuck it, man. I'm not worried about editing that shit
Let's
out.
go to the magical land of make-believe.
I'm not gonna edit it. Fuck it.
No.
Richmond, Kentucky. Who cares?
There's multiple Richmond, Virginias.
God damn it! You fucked it up because there is a real,
Hey!
there's a real Richmond, Kentucky. God damn it!
Oh.
Multiple Richmond, Virginias.
I meant Kentucky.
Nope. Sorry. That's gold. That makes it worth not editing it out at all. That's fucking golden. I love that shit. Nice. Should we use this to go into the next topic?
Indeed.
Cultivating mental health.
It's a time-consuming process.
No, and I'll tell you, the second that you told me about that topic, I was sitting there thinking about it because there's different ways you go about it. Yeah, you've got the people who seek therapy, professional therapy. They fucking pay some professional brain wrangler, however much it is. I don't know how much it is because I've never done it. I assume it's anywhere from. It's funny. I'm gonna lowball it on this one and say 75 to 200. Watch there be some shrink who's like 75. What are you doing? What are you working? What are you working for charity? It's like 150 to 350. I don't know what the numbers are, but you pay somebody, or
Depends on your insurance.
yeah,
Which
or
you're already overpaying for. I guess
Yeah.
you're getting closer to that deductible.
Yeah, I
and then
know, right?
they'll Cover a
You know-
couple bucks.
You know what? Maybe that's how you go about it, right? You cover your deductible with fucking mental health. Yeah, you go see a shrink, cover your
you gotta pay
deductible
it
that way.
first, so
Yeah, but still,
Couple grand.
if there is a to the audience out there, I'm making air quotes. If there's a use for speaking to a therapist, you get that use, you pay that, you get your main deductible, and then if you get real depressed and you decide you want to cut one of your fingers off just to feel feelings, then yeah, you don't have to worry about getting it sewed back on. It's cool.
true.
But no,
They might give you something cool.
Who would give you something cool? The insurance company?
No,
Your
whoever they assign you to,
Oh, okay.
I guess.
But like a good medication, like
Yeah.
lithium, something to keep you level.
Yeah, break it down.
But then other people do the self help. They go and find the books. Maybe it's a cheaper alternative than paying a professional. What, you spend maybe $300 or $400 on books that maybe you read over and over and over again, or you just go on YouTube and listen to fucking hours and hours of Alan Watts for free. You ever heard any of those
I'll
videos?
do. I've heard. Yes, I actually.
They're pretty
have.
good.
I'll do that, and I'll do the books. I mean, some of the books you can obviously just read for free online and stuff. But
Oh, yeah?
I have books that go. It's not necessarily directly for prescribing yourself stuff or self-medicating, but there are chapters on some of these things that go into that.
Wait, are you
And-
talking about specifically self-help or self-diagnosing? Because there's a difference.
Oh, it's not really self-diagnosing. You just
Okay.
help whatever you're feeling at the time, and trying to make it make sense. I got multiple books because it's multiple topics for
Yeah.
these books, but they both have a chapter that's it's not big, it's not the centerpiece, but goes into dosage and possible things for certain diagnosis depending on what you're feeling.
Does it-
Not trying to use the A word that's overused nowadays, but
Oh,
yeah, for some people, if they're not used to that stuff, that could cause even more of that A word.
I don't.
That's way overused.
I'm going to say the A word because
Anxiety?
Okay, good. Because I
Yes.
don't want to call it the A word because you know what? It's the A word in
I wasn't.
No.
Were you thinking anal?
No. As soon as you said the A word, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's talking about anxiety.
Overused, dude.
But
and dude, I
well,
get
you
it.
said the
I
A
get
word and then you said overused, and no, I wasn't thinking anal. But there's two different A words that are overused. If it's not anxiety, it's fucking autism. I'm on the spectrum. Get the fuck out of here.
I feel like you can. All right, I should have said both because
Exactly. Well, that's why you
the
said
people
the
that
A
use
word.
one use the other. Sometimes they'll use them at the same time.
Well, that's
just
the thing.
saying,
You
and
said-
it's nothing
you said
against
the-
some of these people. I
No,
get some of that.
There are genuine people who have anxiety, and there's genuine people who have autism. Here's the thing
Yes.
about the difference between anxiety and autism is like autism. I don't think that's something you. I mean, you can overcome it, but you always have it. Anxiety. Guess what? Everybody has anxiety. You're supposed to have anxiety. You know why you're supposed to have anxiety? That's how the bills get paid. That's how you realize that if there's a fucking dog growling at you, maybe you should get the fuck out of the way.
Dude, I get it. but
Anxiety is a real emotion. It's a real physical thing that causes you, like
sometimes too much to panic, and that's
and,
a different level.
and
of
man,
that.
it sucks, man, because I don't want to attribute something to somebody that I can't say that.
Good khakis. Sorry.
No, but there's this military guy. I wish I could remember his actual TikTok or YouTube thing, but it was actually a really cool thing. If you you have something that you got to do, right, and you don't want to do it, right, and you start getting anxiety and you start getting nervous and your stomach starts feeling weird and you get all jittery. Do you know what that is? It's your body filling you with fucking chemicals that is supposed to get you prepared to deal with something you don't want to deal with. So a lot of people, their bodies get rushed with all these fucking endorphins and this adrenaline and all these fucking emotions. They don't know how to deal with it. But as soon as you know that your body is doing this to prepare you for this thing that you don't want to do, and as soon as you know that, like, okay, my body's doing this, use those chemicals. Don't let it make you nervous. A lot of people mistake their like fucking the guy I work with. Man, my heart's racing, man, and I feel like I'm on coke. I was like, don't tell me about your fucking freebies, man. If I felt the way you did every time somebody yelled at me for something, man, I wouldn't have to spend money on drugs.
Can I find a way not to I don't know what that guy was doing to get him to feel that way, but to
he was in the military.
Where
you're talking about the TikTok guy or my coworker?
No, your coworker, when he said that, what was he getting like that about? Like, what was it specifically? Was he in the battlefield? Like, is it that guy? Okay.
No.
Okay.
He wasn't in a battlefield.
Okay. Because I do want to give an example after I hear this. I just want to hear you right on.
Well, here's the thing. My coworker, he has this way of dealing with people, where in the beginning he doesn't particularly, he doesn't like hearing bullshit, and when he does, he calls it out. The problem with that is, it's like, if you can't call it out and then deal with the aftermath of that, then you probably shouldn't do it. So he was, like, the first thing he did with this particular customer was, he was like, oh, okay, well, this is the first time I've been here, so, what do we do? And then the guy was like, well, you do this, this, and this. And then he was like, well, do you pay to have this, this, and this done? And he was like, I don't know. The customer said, I don't know. So Rick says, you don't know what you're paying for? Which is a valid question, but probably could have been said with a little bit more tact. If he had known about the customers, this particular customer, the wife dealt with the service more than the husband, so the husband didn't know. The husband immediately goes on the defensive. Obviously a very sensitive male who doesn't want to be reminded that perhaps he doesn't wear the pants in this particular family. And so he overreacted, and he was like, oh, what? You're a fucking tough man? I'll fucking kick your ass. Like, yeah, I mean, he was threatening Rick.
Whoa.
So Rick had a legitimate reason to be anxious about it, but
no, I get that.
Where he could have de-escalated
somebody
the
that wants to put their fucking hands on you.
Yeah,
possibly.
well, and then
So,
there was
to
like,
me,
and
that's
you know
a
what,
little
man,
different.
you're probably drunk, man. He was getting a lot of shit hurled at him. He was, and it was just like, okay, but the thing is that when you encounter a potential dangerous situation, your body fills itself with adrenaline. It's all to serve a purpose, whether it's fight or flight. He could have made those two choices. He stuck around for way too long. So his body is just filling itself with adrenaline, and he's not fighting, and he's not flighting. And so it's just your body is just getting all these signals. And then he calls me up, and he's just like, man, I had to call you, man. And, it's like, hey, man, just calm down. You're not there no more. Call the office, explain the situation. And then, of course, the office calls me up an hour later. Hey, go over there and fucking, make things better. And they should have never sent Rick there anyway if that was my account. God damn it. Son of a bitch.
What about Richard?
Yeah, you can change it from Richard to
Hey,
Rick. Hey, how about Rickolas? How about Dickard?
Well, I got to say, I
But
get
no,
it with the
you
people thing.
you had a scenario. I went on a long tear.
I was
there.
going to use my scenario. Mine's a little different, and I'm not saying it should be more sympathetic, because some people would still look at my shit and be like, chill the fuck out, especially how long I do what I do, man. But I guess, like, some people can't get over being around people. I remember it was when that heat was first coming in and shit, and going down the road, and
This is this year?
yeah,
Okay.
I don't even know why I said going down the road. Drew a blank. Anyway, I'm at work, and dude, doing what I do, and I've told you this, and it sucks. Way up in the air, doing certain things. Sometimes I get weird about it, even when I'm tied up. I'm a clumsy motherfucker, dude. And even when I'm tied off, and I remember we went 100 feet up, and you know what? When I ease my way in, I can get going on shit. And once I get in the mode of what I'm doing, I'll eventually push myself to figure out, like, just think about what you're doing. You're wearing shit. I have to get like that. It sucks because I've had one or two little close calls way down below, but could have still fucked me up. And again, I'm clumsy. So it'd been a little bit, and I got fucking jacked. Dominic's taking me all the way up. I got to patch this shit around the steel so we can get, for the block work on this stairway and, get it ready for the brick and rambling. But dude, just going up, and it was a single tower hydraulic scaffold, but it rocks back and forth, and
just in
you're going
100
wind? Feet just from going up because of the way it is,
driving,
and it's tied in.
Coming to driving,
yeah,
just going
as it's
to a slow
raising,
stop.
and it's on this tower, and there's like a bridge like this and a tower going up. It's a single tower. It's tied in. And then the scaffold's also sitting on the roof of this building we've done, and we had to put scaffolding up to the fucking roof of that underneath to support the shit that I'm riding up, and it's just, and you can feel it rumbling, and and then you get to the top, and you realize the scaffold's fucked up, and it's leaning back, and I gotta, lay in these big rocks and shit, and filling it up, and dude, Dominic's like, man, it's all good. You're good, man. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. He's like, just do what makes you comfortable. I was like, are you serious? You don't mind? And
just start sparking.
He's like, yeah, man, just start yelling or something. Are you sure? And
no.
He's like, man, you're all right. I was like, you said do what I feel like doing. I was like, man, I'm getting comfortable now. What is it, Dominic? What is it? You said get loud. You said yell. He's like, nah, man, you feeling all right? I was like, yeah, man.
Now
I'm a little jumpy. He's like, I could tell you're shaking a little bit. He's like, you're not angry with me, are you? I was like, nah, man. You kind of leveled me out a little bit. He's like, you gonna yell again? I was like, no! As I'm like throwing this, like, yeah, this fucking harness on and shit, and just.
See, now it's actually cool that you mentioned this. Now, mine is a micro version of what you just discussed, but you've been on the lift. Have you ever been the driver driving the lift?
You talking about one of them snorkel lifts, the cherry pickers?
Whatever you were
in
talking.
The basket. No, I was on a scaffolding, but I've driven one of those lifts, and that thing will like.
Oh, okay. Okay, because see, what I was thinking is that was what you were describing. Now,
no, that sucks too. That shit makes my butthole tighten up.
You've told me about that. Told me about the scaffolding. But yeah, like when I worked at that export business that I was at, first I started off just getting lifted up. We just had propane forklift. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that you're dealing with height. And you know what? Once you get to a certain height, you get 20 feet in the air. It doesn't matter if you're 20 or you're fucking 40. You fall 20 on concrete or you fall 40 on concrete, you're fucking done, But we used to get in these lifts, and because we'd have this stuff that was on the third rack. We needed to get the stuff on the third rack. The only way you could do it was, you get in the little cage. We didn't have the same OSHA requirements, or at least if we did, we didn't follow them, and nobody ever fucking checked up on us. But, yeah, I would get in the box. The box had an extended pallet on it. We'd get lifted up to the third level, and usually it was to grab like one box of a rare item. But then it was funny because we put some of our rare high-priced items up on the top shelf, and then other times we put some of our what I call rare low-priced items that were only rare because they were so fucking cheap that only one place wanted them, but when they wanted a lot. And so there was one side of it where I'm on this forklift and I'm trusting some motherfucker to drive me through these tight fucking aisles to grab this item, right? And then all of a sudden one day, hey man, I don't have my forklift license. Okay, cool. You do. Oh, what does that mean? Means get on the fucking forklift and lift me up here. Isn't that weird? I can be the fucking, like, arbiter of somebody's fucking demise because I have a fucking 2 letters next to a fucking piece of plastic.
Dude, somebody driving you on the...
It's nerve-wracking, man. It's nerve-wracking being up there, and it's nerve-wracking being down on the fucking chair, man.
I know what you mean, and you bringing that up.
So you had to do it.
Dude,
you had to lift somebody up in a
No, I had
snorkel?
somebody lift me up and I had somebody drive me around, and I'm not, and again, you just reminded me of an old story. This back when we lived at the house and shit, and it's somebody driving me in a fucking cage, and it's one of them big forklifts. And I hope you don't take this as a one, your shit's nerve-wracking too, but I don't want it to seem like a one-upper thing because it's
no.
But dude, I had fun with it. Sometimes I didn't mind being in a man cage, and this part of this is on me. Younger, I didn't realize totally you're not supposed to drive around with somebody in a man cage, and it was on a job site with a shitload of ruts.
Lift it up?
No, well, even this at fucking 5-6 feet off the ground.
Yeah,
he ended up cranking me up to 8 feet, and he started hitting them ruts because he hit the part of this is on him. He hit the fucking gas, dude, and I started I fell over and just started bow on this fucking metal platform, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? Because I used to have fun in the man cage. Now when they're parked and they're lifting me up to my spot where I got to do whatever kind of demolition or piecing back in that I gotta do, I used to put on the fucking face shield and shit before I start cutting as they're raising up and start doing the raising my hands.
But no, and it's not a one-up thing. There's a certain height where your concern for safety isn't. No.
You're in somebody else's hands and shit.
Yeah, well, like I said, there's a certain height where if you fall from that height, you're fucked either way. But yeah, the higher you go up, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna fall from 50 feet. I'm gonna fall from 100 feet. The result's gonna be the same. I'm dead.
That shit freaks me the fuck out because I'm weird about heights, dude.
Well,
I've never gotten over heights.
The result
even doing
is
the work
same,
that I do.
But the higher up you get, and the further down you can see,
the more nervous you get.
As a person, yeah. No, don't get me wrong. The physics of it only matters to a point. But as a person seeing it, yeah, when you look at somebody and you can see their facial features, and then when you get lifted up an extra fucking 20 feet and then they become a fucking speck, yeah, no, there's a difference there. There's no one up there. I could look at Charles and see if he was pissed off at me or not. No, don't get me wrong about that. There's no one up there. But what I was saying was, the thing that made what I was doing nerve-wracking was the close quarters of the driving. I could easily fucking nick a rack and then fucking domino rally. And then, yeah, you know what? The person who's up in the lift, they're probably the safest fucking person. Everybody else on the ground floor, avalanche time. That's what made it nervous as a driver. As somebody up on the rack, I'm like, I'm safe as long as I'm in this teeny little cage. The second that I step off of this cage, the responsibility is not with the driver. If he is stopped and the forklift is braked, that's great. I trip over a shoelace grabbing a fucking case of fucking White Owl for fucking White Owl. Was it White Owl? Blinking Owl? Doesn't matter. It was this super cheap ass fucking wine that we sold to Aldi. Anyways, yeah, it's nerve wracking. But you know the weird thing is about that kind of stuff.
Oh, I don't like somebody driving when you're in the area too. Just say for
how
what
often,
you're talking
how
about.
often were you having to do this kind of work?
Oh, dude, plenty. I'm doing that kind of. Right now I'm controlling a lot of it. So there's sometimes I'll take a break and let Dominic drive. I'm using
Is it a daily
snorkel
occurrence?
lift or a cherry picker.
Is it a daily
just,
occurrence for you?
I off and on since I've been in Richmond and shit the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Yes.
Okay, so
It's been an everyday thing.
And here's a weird thing, because everybody deals with that kind of stuff differently. Because it was a daily occurrence for me, either riding on the lift or having to ride the lift, I got used to it.
Oh no, and I get used to it too, man. I've used them off and on for years. Be honest with you, the scaffolding one, it for some reason is a little weird, especially when you get so high in the air. Where I'm at right now, the height isn't too bad, but it's still weird. Like if you got that boom out and you turn, even you try to make it slightly, and that thing, the further it's out, the more it's just like, and you just kind of. Hold on. And Dominic's like, sorry, Jimmy. I was like, it's all good. I told you to drive. You got the boom out, dude. I was like, you do good. And with it. So
and I'm saying this to say something else because I like this conversation. And I'm sure other people like this. Are we a comedy podcast? No, it doesn't matter. We're talking about like some mental health stuff. And I think that the thing that makes it the most useful is here's the moral of the story. Eventually, you just gotta fucking do it, and the more that you do it, the more comfortable you get doing it.
Dude, it will get.
Well, here's a perfect.
When
example.
your pulse starts racing, I'm sorry, especially with heights with me and the way shit moves. When somebody else is running something and you're not in total control of the situation, it's a little intense, man. And it's weird because I've been way higher. I used to be so much better about it, but it's almost like for somebody like me, I've degressed in some ways, and I don't know what it is.
No,
but
and I'll tell you, maybe this is a part of it. Heights is a very real fear.
Oh yeah, it's
anxiety. Common. Like I'm sitting here talking shit about anxiety. Heights is a very real fear because there's a very real conclusion to falling from heights. And our buddy that I used to work with, if you listen to what I'm saying, it sounds like the dumbest fucking thing in the world. I used to be nervous backing up an 8-foot wide van to a 24-foot wide bay door.
No, I remember you talking about that back in Freeman.
Exactly.
At Freeman, right?
No. It wasn't at Freeman because Freeman's not a real place. Jesus Christ, Jimmy. No. No, it doesn't matter. No.
At the warehouse?
At fucking Carpet House. Wait.
Oh.
Shit, was it?
No,
R.C.
Lee. Okay, I thought you had to...
Even trying to make shit up, I can't even...
God damn it, I thought it was when you worked at the warehouse, so it was
R.C.
at a carpet place.
It doesn't fucking matter. I don't give a fuck.
Doesn't matter.
It's
not around anymore.
I really don't... No, it is still around right now, but they're fucking just so fucking just like whatever. But anyways, yeah. But no, when I worked with our friend Eric... I'm gonna just fucking drop his name out there. I don't give a fuck. He doesn't want to be on
name.
He doesn't want to be on the podcast anyway. Fuck that guy. No, but yeah, no. Eric would be like, "Back up the van, man. We gotta load. Back up the van, man. We gotta load up some carpet." And I was like, "Nah, man, I don't want to do it." I felt like a fucking pussy about it, and I was. It was weird. But then when it came to push comes to shove, because I had somebody, Eric would back the van up for me. Therefore, I didn't have to grow. It sounds so silly, but an 8-foot van up to a 24-foot fucking bay door seems simple. But it was nerve-wracking to me, and because I had somebody who would do it for me, I never had to grow. Then all of a sudden, I go to work for Freeman, and I have to back a fucking 8-foot fucking box truck to an 8-foot bay door. And it's like, hey, man, this is a part of your job, and if you can't do this, you need to go someplace else. So then, yeah, first couple of times, nervous as fuck. Probably took me 5-10 minutes to back that box truck up to that bay door. But then the more I did it, the more confident I got at it, and then it became second nature. Now, I'm not dealing with heights. I'm not dealing with my demise. Worst case scenario, I fucking run a gouge into one of the fucking bigger tractor trailers, which luckily I never had to worry about. But if I'd have worked there long enough, eventually that would have probably ended up being a responsibility too. So you have to do it. If you don't do it, you don't grow.
No, and again, I even said I did it before, but it's weird how over time the way I'd get about it, not at the beginning, but more so later, has been more intense. That to me is a little weird. And that incident that I told you about, what was odd is that paranoia of that. I had my feet on the ground. It was like probably maybe 3 or 4 days later, and fucking that was that day I was on the ground, and I remember I told you I got smacked across the head with that shit that fell down like which was fucking intense and could have been pretty bad, dude. And it was like, I looked back and I was like, and that was when I thought I was in a spot to where, I'm good, right? So I mean, anything could happen anytime. It was a little fucking weird.
And then and if you want to take this out of the realm of danger, right?
Danger.
I was speaking with a coworker today. They have an interest in our other habits, other hobbies. I was talking about music.
Cultivation.
No. I was talking about music.
Oh, shit. Music's cool.
And because I told you, I've been blocking out my time into chunks. So I spend a certain day of the week working on music theory, working on scales. It's boring stuff. It's not fucking. I'm not fucking coming up with killer fucking bass lines and shit like that. But because we're talking about growth. If you don't do it, if you never do it, you won't grow. You won't learn how to do it, and you'll never grow. So we were talking about people we know who will stick to a certain pattern. And this was something that I learned in some of the videos that I've been watching. Noodling. Man, I love noodling. It's fun to noodle, right?
Yeah, but you can noodle on scales too.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. Noodling is fun, and if you apply a certain amount of discipline to it, you can come up with something new. But let's say you've got one riff. Let's say you've got 3 riffs, and you just work on them and work on them and work on them and work on them, and you really love it, and you play them for hours and hours and hours. Maybe you never get bored of them, but you play the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Noodling can put you in a situation of comfort. You play the things you're comfortable playing. But if you never challenge yourself, you will never grow.
It's not always like that with noodling, because sometimes you're noodling on new things you've figured out.
Yeah, and that may be the case, but for me,
you don't have a set plan, and that's why it's noodling.
For me, you know what I do? Look at my fingers. They should never really do this as a bass player. Flying fingers. I never thought about it. I sit there and watch these videos of these dudes. I can't look at where their fingers are. If I want to learn how to play a fucking Les Claypool bass riff,
talking about down here.
No, I'm talking about on the neck.
Okay.
If I look at Les Claypool, I can't look at where his fingers are. and see what to do. His fingers are so close to the neck. Like it's economy of motion.
You can look at what he's playing, but he's also touching and doing things a certain way though too. So you do gotta kind of look at some of it.
But it's an economy of motion. Why would I move my finger up 3 inches from the fretboard to slap them down on, let's say, 2 frets down, when I could move it just a centimeter off the strings and move it? There's that. Come on, from right here to right here.
I mean, I get it because I know that, and that's why.
Exactly. Well, see, that's the thing. I learned from tabs. I picked up certain bass. I picked up certain fingering skills from.
I know you've done most of your own thing, but I showed you some stuff at the beginning, and Asa showed you stuff.
But Asa did.
But getting the feel down, that's more of getting your own feel for it, kind of learning. That's how I've done mine anyway.
What do you think looks better, this or this? To play the notes that you need to play.
It doesn't matter what looks better. It's whatever feels better to you.
No. It's not. Maybe looks is a wrong word, and maybe feels is even a wrong word. If I wanted, let's say I wanted to play let's say I wanted to play some fucking Cliff Burton shit. Do you think Cliff Burton is going like this, or he's going like this? And then these fingers are fucking going all over the place. But he's not lifting his fingers 2 inches above the fretboard.
Well, nobody is. It's always slightly or
I
sliding
am.
Well, not all the time, dude. When you get in the mode, I've seen you play.
I know.
You'll have your shit where that shit flows like fucking butter, man.
But
melted butter,
and this
like
is
up
the
and
thing,
down.
This is the thing, though. It's I'm looking at these things. I'm not.
Is it more when you're playing covers or playing somebody else's songs than instead of being in the moment on a jam? Because it's more of
when I'm jamming or whatever. It's whatever. The thing that really gets me is hammers.
Like hammer-ons?
Hammers. Yeah. And you know what a part of it is, and I think it's gonna get better. Going back to an electric. With strings closer to the fretboard. I love playing that fucking acoustic, but an acoustic bass, I'm really thinking, is an awesome training tool, the same way acoustic guitar is good as a training tool from going from acoustic to electric. Same thing for acoustic bass to electric bass. Those fucking strings are so much closer to the fretboard that you don't have to do that. And maybe that's what you're seeing, and maybe that's what I'm noticing playing the acoustic bass almost exclusively now. I haven't picked up my electric since I bought the fucking acoustic.
And you'd be surprised, but I've seen you have it flow good on the acoustic, though, too. I feel like it's more of when you're... I know I get like this sometimes. It's not all the time until you get the feel for it, but like a newer song... You're in the structure of the moment of that thing you're figuring out. Yeah. So maybe it's more so during that. But I feel like maybe you don't realize it because you're comfortable and you're just in the moment of the jam. But for the most part, you usually are good about.
Yeah. Well, and once again, this isn't me fishing for compliments. This is me.
Oh no, I know it's not because I do know when you slam them down. Sometimes there are jams we've done where I do know you.
Yeah, and the thing is that, and the point about this whole conversation is, it's not about how I feel about how I play. It's about challenging yourself. Challenge yourself in everything that you do, every single thing. If you get comfortable doing something, if you've reached the level of perfection in doing something, come on, man. You know, there's only so many times you cut fucking 8 slices out of a pizza. You're not going to challenge yourself on that. But there are certain things where you will, and once again, and I've seen you do this. I've seen you nitpick your own work on things. But I posted this on Facebook, and maybe this will allude to people who the mystery person behind this microphone is. I said, in my at the age that I am now, and we've spoken about this, I find that in regards to the youth, I'm surrounded by people who are supremely confident, but at the same time supremely stupid.
Yeah.
People will think that they have something mastered and then stop.
But at the same time, if they put it out there and get that criticism, I'll give them props for at least going through with it, because maybe they'll figure it out. You pointed out the way I was about that, the self-criticism, and I've heard you do it too, but overdoing it, and this is where got to put myself in check. You overdo it, you'll never put anything out there because you second guess everything. I've done it with this podcast.
Yeah.
Overdone it. So
No, it's
keeping it real, dog.
No, it's yeah. I mean, like I said, there
and so sometimes you got to roll that dice and just be like, it's gonna be all right. Watch for the obvious possible failures before it gets there. Try to fix it. Keep it going. Do what you got to do.
And
you know,
and maybe there's extra steps. You know, I haven't
drugs. No.
You know what? Okay. You know what? We'll
all right.
We'll put that in step 5.
Oh no.
But no, in the title of the list of things you wanted to talk about, yeah, we talked about the heat and our balls sticking to our legs like crazy glue. And then the next particular thing was, I don't know if it was the next particular thing, but it was a thing that stuck in my brain: cultivation of mental health. You want to cultivate that kind of stuff.
I gotta piss.
All right, cool. No, it's fine. I couldn't tell you what the exact steps are, but there are certain things that you do. One, overcoming the anxiety of a particular task. To me, that's the hardest thing to do. And then once you overcome that anxiety and you get comfortable doing it, then it becomes, a confidence in your ability to perform that task. So once you overcome the anxiety and then you get confident in doing that task, almost the third thing would become not becoming overconfident or complacent. Complacency in almost every business that I've ever been in is I would say that it's the death blow, but it seems like in regards to the businesses that I've worked in, especially family-owned businesses, complacency is almost like a slow-acting poison. But you have the anxiety of the task, overcoming the anxiety of the task. Next, confidence in performing the task. 3, avoiding complacency. And then 4, perfecting that task to the best of your abilities. And if somebody comes through who, who's been there before, and they want to say, hey, what you're doing is pretty good, but, you could do it a little bit safer, or you could do it a little bit faster, or you could do it a little bit better. I almost broke into a Brooklyn accent there, but,
Mamma mia.
Being good at what you do.
Pasta power.
And then, if you see something that's better, steal everything. Steal what you learned, but acknowledge where you got what you got. Now, that particular statement doesn't particularly fit in the blue collar work world, but it's like, you know what? You learned how to drive a forklift fucking like a fucking madman. You can do everything you need to do. And then some fucking, fucking 8-inch long beard, fucking long tooth motherfucker comes in and says, hey, you're pretty good, but if you did this, you could shave a couple of seconds off your time and you could work a lot safer. Instead of dismissing what the older generation has, pick it up, acknowledge it, and say what you got, where you got. And then
the bottom.
I'm sorry, you're Jimmy. Jimmy, your handwriting
I know.
is awful.
Yeah.
I can't read it. Just say what it is, unless it's private. Oh, okay, cool, yeah, damn.
What?
Well,
I don't know. I know.
Look, all right.
Look, man, it's generic. We'll work on it. I'm throwing.
No. I like it, but it's if I'm reading Jimmy's handwriting as if it were German, I'm assuming that it says Ryan and Jimmy's Power Hour.
More or less.
The Power Hour. Power. But
Power. Give me the power. What kind of power?
I like.
I don't know.
I like
peak power.
I like the names reversed. I like it when the names are in alphabetical order.
Fuck that.
Jimmy and Ryan.
Sorry.
But no.
I threw Rojo pretty hard there. Sorry.
Rojo. But no, like, and you were back there using the bathroom. But what I was talking about was, when you get into something that you've never done before, you get anxious about it. The first part of that is overcoming that anxiety. The second part is becoming comfortable doing what you're doing. Maybe I added an extra step in here. The third part is after you overcome your anxiety, you get comfortable doing what you're doing, is to not become complacent in what you're doing, because that's the death of it. To think that you know everything, what happens is that you skip steps when you cut corners when you become complacent. And then
oh yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, and then the fourth thing is that if somebody else comes in who maybe they did it longer than you did, maybe they haven't done it as long as you have, but they come in with a good idea, don't dismiss it. Don't be like, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Get the fuck out of here, newbie, or get the fuck out of here, old man.
I've never done that. Dude, I embrace that.
People will.
That's
a
lot of people. The majority will. But what's weird is what you're talking about is just doing it. And again, not to go back to, not saying me, but my situation and what I'm doing, to me, it's weird. It's because I get that way, and it was things I did for years where I had no problem, but for some reason now, man, it fucks with me. So that's where it's kind of weird, man. I don't know if it's age and then slight paranoia.
But
I don't know.
I get that, but there's a certain point where you know what you're doing.
Oh yeah, totally. It's just weird. I had this paranoia of something fucking awful happening. And it sucks.
And you know what? It's weird because in the beginning, that paranoia could build onto the anxiety and completely cripple you. But as you grow, if you keep that paranoia, it can perhaps mitigate the complacency. You know what I'm saying? So if you have that paranoia in the back of your brain, you'll never get complacent. It's about balance. It's about a balance.
No, I get that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, oh, I know what the fuck I'm doing, whatever. And then you maybe, because you're so confident.
Oh, no. It's never like that, because that's when shit goes down.
Exactly. Okay, well then there you go. There you go. You've proved my
but it's me
right
just
there.
thinking it sucks because it's not. Oh well, it's me for some reason I get in this mental state where I would just think negative. Oh, things have been going pretty good. Everything's gonna go to shit today.
No.
This is where everything catches up.
No,
this is where it all goes to hell.
And it is kind of weird.
And
the eternal pessimism. Yeah,
dude,
but
you got to keep doing what you do.
And it's funny. There's a really an awesome fucking song that I used to listen to, and I had no idea that it was a reference to Doom. Once again, it's all about balance. But there's this song. I think it's Adam. No, it's not Adam. God damn, it's not Adam Friedland. That's from fucking Cumtown. But it's no, the name of the song. If you type this in, you'll see a fucking thumbnail of a record up close. But Fear is the Mind Killer from Doom. Dune, not Doom. Dune, D-U-N-E. But no, well,
I thought you were saying Doom at first.
well, that's why I said no. I said Doom at first.
Doom.
Doom. Dune. You're all doomed. You're all doomed.
Dude.
It's going to be a bunch of sand hills. You're all doomed. But no, fear, it's weird because there's this balance, but fear is a mind killer. If you're too afraid to do something,
Dune what?
No. Just type in
Dune.
No, don't worry about Dune.
I'm sorry.
Type in "Fear is the Mind Killer," and it should show like a thumbnail of like
Dude, that's like the first. As soon as I put "fear is," that's
What did it say?
"fear is the mind killer."
Yeah. It's an awesome song.
I'm just saying it.
Bop, bop.
It's just weird.
Ba-dum, bop, 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 bop.
Fear is could pull up so many things.
Yeah, of course. But Fear is the Mind Killer is a very popular line from the movie Dune. So that wouldn't surprise me that popped up. As a matter of fact, because it's on your phone and not mine, it wouldn't surprise me if it just brought up a whole bunch of fucking clips from Dune. If I popped it in, it's gonna show some fucking music video from a band that I can't remember their name.
The band.
Not the band, but
Went
it's
down to Nazareth.
But no, like I said, yeah, you know what? I like that as a general quote. Fear is a mind killer, but at the same time, it was like, yeah, if you're too afraid, you'll never move forward. But if you're too confident, you might end up fucking putting fear in somebody. Boom.
Is the little death that brings obliteration. And I'll face my fear, not permit it to pass over me through me.
All right, look. Coming out, yeah. Scare.
I'm a scat man.
God damn it. All right. All right, look. Oh, damn. I don't have, can I, would you mind if I see your phone? So, fear is the mind killer. Morgan Freeman.
It's gay. With Tim Robbins.
Damn it.
Damn it!
Your shit's not loading quick enough, so I can't see the thingy.
You're loading on my good jeans.
Gross. Alright, look.
Oh shit!
Look.
Sorry. What is it?
I will tell you.
What?
We're
Tell me.
No, well, what I'm going to say is that.
What happened?
No, nothing. But
Oh well, fuck it.
hold on, because what I think I want to do, if I can find, it is Adam Freeland.
What? The thing you were talking about?
Yeah, let's see if it'll. Damn, this is a lot longer.
Yes.
But yeah, But yeah, once again, it's if there was anything to take away from this particular recording, it's growth.
Is that sometimes it's worth just rolling the dice.
Well,
Keep yourself together. See what happens.
Well, it's
Look for the best judgment.
it's rolling the dice seems a little too worrisome. But
Not if you have best intentions, possibly.
well, would
Shit.
you want the gentleman on your forklift scaffold rolling the dice? No. What I would like is
No.
exactly.
But you got to roll the dice when you're the one in control and you're second guessing everything you do. Sometimes
That's-
you just got to roll it
That
and
that-
go with it. The best intentions.
No,
The
that's-
best. Go for the best outcome.
that's
Not
the thing.
dying. So-
No, and that's the thing. But you know,
Sorry.
you're good. You're good.
Oh no.
But no, I was afraid to back an 8-foot wide carpet van up to a 24-foot wide bay door. And the only thing that kept me from doing that was that there was somebody else there to do it for me. The second that there wasn't anybody there to do it for me, I had to basically man up. Cowboy up, man up, nut up, however you want to say it, the nicest way or the
Figure
most
it out.
insulting way. You had to figure it out.
And then you're like, I got this.
Yeah, well,
I got
yeah,
this.
but at the same time you're like, I
Even
got
though
this.
you're shaking at the same fucking time.
Well,
but you
at-
got
at, no,
this.
at the beginning, yeah, certainly I was shaking, man, and it took me a very long time to do the things that I needed to do.
Yeah.
But even when I got comfortable doing it, I still made sure that the fucking corner of the bumper of the box truck wasn't gonna run a fucking 6-foot by fucking 10-foot gouge down the bay door of the 2 tractor trailers I had to back up behind. That's just my example of a particular thing I had to overcome. But life
Oh,
is-
I had a scenario where I had to do it,
Go
but
for it.
luckily I was on the ground, but I was also on a forklift and I failed because there was a spin road and a job fence against this existing school, and I proceeded to back into this fence, and the thing collapsed like dominoes, and I was like, oh fuck, I can't pick this up with my hands, so I was like, you know what, I got this. So I used that forklift that I second-guessed myself on, and I proceeded to jab holes into this chain-link fence that this company rented. And I picked that shit off the ground in about 10 different locations. And as the man who ran the job came in and said, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I'm fixing the situation. And you get out of my way, and he's like, my motherfucking fence. And I was like, I got this motherfucking fence.
Yeah, and you walk away. There are people in this world who will there are people in this world who will force you to be a follower. And if you don't have the mental fortitude, you will be that. And don't get me wrong, we can't all be leaders. And there's nothing wrong with it. But if you feel that you have the mental fortitude and the gumption, you go with it. it is funny because there are so many people out there who are like, don't be a follower, be a leader. And it's like, okay, you know what you get with too many leaders? You get too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
You know how I take that comment? That's also somebody else that's like just looking for those other people around. How about figure it out yourself, make an example, make it worth it, and see if other people take notice.
Well, and
Somebody that's seeking to be a leader is just seeking to control. They're looking for somebody to look at them. Sometimes they ain't worth it. Sometimes they haven't figured it out before they go that route. Fuck that.
Well,
Sometimes you gotta look at yourself and be like, fuck this, I got this shit, fuck what everybody else thinks. And you know what? You get it right, people take notice.
you know what? And you know what? If
Sorry.
no, you're good, man.
Oh
'Cause-
yeah.
No, because I was telling a friend of mine the particular job that I work in right now. One of the things that I learned was that you don't make excuses. You don't make excuses. And I never had to have somebody tell me not to make excuses. But when I did fuck up Major League, I went into the office and they're like, "What do you have to say for yourself?" And I said, "I'm sorry, my bad. It was 100% my fault. I'll make amends, however I need to." And then the person who was in the power at the time was like, "Oh, okay. We weren't expecting that." "What do you mean?" "Usually we have people making excuses." Don't make excuses. Work it the way you work it. If you make a mistake, own it. Do better next time.